Very good. Good morning, Sandy. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
You know, same old, just pushing the pencil around in the office over here.
I'm just a little stressed. Just got a lot going on. Juggling a lot of balls.
I can
doing a lot of-
tell our productivity, especially early on in the morning, is not where we want it to be.
I was actually going to say, what are we talking about today? I can't remember. I know we have these weekly meetings, but I don't know what we're doing today.
Our units of service are not reflecting our FTE status. We need to have a more in-tuned FTE status to the units of service. It seems to me that maybe we need to lessen the workforce if we're not getting the numbers that we should be getting.
Oh, we can't do that. We can't. It's a pandemic. We can't lessen this workforce.
The numbers don't lie, Sandy. The numbers don't lie. I feel bad. I feel for you. The numbers do not lie, though.
Well, let me explain a few things, okay? Just so you can hear it from a real worker bee's point of view, okay?
Sure.
So I got a guy that they're both Frank and Sandy, and they are both kind of neck and neck with each other in the department. The problem is Sandy is always on time, actually early and ready to go.
I know. I really like Sandy.
But she's had some real issues with other techs and with her patient care. She's had a few dings lately of, patient care surveys where they've said, boy, that Sandy was just kind of brusque with me and kind of cold. And
have any of the techs put in any complaints about her?
No, you know how that goes. It's just a hearsay thing, but they've come into my office and said, hey, you got to do something about this woman.
Let me, any written complaints about Sandy?
No, but we're having this conversation. I'm trying to, I want you to hear, she stirs things up. So
yeah,
it's,
she's there on time. She's there on time. She gets through the work day.
I can teach somebody to be on time. I can't really teach them to be a nice person and to be a good team player. So then
I can open up our Kronos time cards and we can take a further look at that just to make sure she's on time every day. You say she is. I'm not too concerned about that.
And then there's Frank, who is never on time.
I know
you know that, but he is the best tech. He jumps in anywhere anybody needs him. He will do anything you ask him.
Starting those 7 a.m. fluoro procedures.
But we kind of can handle that, and I do know it puts a strain on the department, but he will go overboard. And you got to remember, I mean, I don't know that you know this about him, but he's a single dad and he has to drop his kids off before he comes to work. And so it's, he drops them off at 10 till 7, which is even earlier than he should.
Did you get my email earlier today? We just revamped the patient surveys, and the number one complaint that we've been getting is wait times. And it's especially affecting the early part of the day. It sets the tone for the rest of the day. If we're not getting the 7 o'clock patient in at 7 o'clock, we're also not getting the 3 o'clock patient in at 3 o'clock.
I understand. I do. I just need you to hear that this guy really contributes to the team atmosphere. And
what is his shift supposed to be? Is it 7 to 3:30? Is that his shift?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm
Sandy
just writing
comes
it down.
at 8. So she's actually always there 5 minutes early. But again, like last week, she really got into it with one of her fellow techs, and the other tech came into my office in tears.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to cut you off. I have another meeting to get to as well. We have to find a way to trim down the department. Our numbers are not allowing us to keep all of these people. We had this discussion before. We're trying something new. It didn't work. Sandy's on time every day. She doesn't get along with everybody, but I mean, come on. Check the baggage at the door. It's not her problem. It's not their problem. She's getting the patients through when they need to get through. Frank can't get here at 7 o'clock. What am I supposed to do?
There has to be a way to work this out. There has to be.
I really can't see one right now. I need to submit this to administration by the end of the day today. Go ahead and call Frank into the office. We're going to have to part ways with him. It's not a surprise to him. He's already on his 11th late from this quarter. Come on, we can't deal with that. Go ahead, call him in. I'll meet you over Zoom so you don't feel so, I don't know, pushed around by him, I guess, whatever he might say. All right, Sandy.
Okay.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're good to go.
Good to go. Oh, hello there, Sandy. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Doing pretty good. I'm under a little bit of stress. As you know, and as I'm about to be telling you, administration is a little less than pleased with our performance lately. They're considering revamping how we're doing everything.
Understand.
I.e., we're potentially going to be losing tech, I think.
Okay. All right. I don't think I realized it was to that point yet. So, all right. So this is a serious conversation. We need to
Yeah.
really dive deep into this. Okay.
I've narrowed it down to two.
Okay.
There is the Tech Frank and the Tech Sandy. These two seem to be having the most issues, and I think one of them could benefit the department by parting ways.
Okay. Do you want my thoughts? Are you ready to
Well,
hear
I mean,
that?
I've got the numbers here in front of me. I
Okay.
see that Sandy is on time every day. She's even a few minutes early usually. I see Frank struggles to get here on time. His shift is 7 to 3:30. In the last 8 weeks, he's been late a total of 9 times, which
Oh,
is
wow.
well over an issue. So unless you have something groundbreaking for me, I think our minds might be made up.
Okay, so I would like to dive into this a little deeper and take a little bit more empathetic approach, just because there's some extenuating circumstances on both of their parts.
I'd like to cut in right there though. Realize, I mean, I know we're in a patient care setting, but we have to stick to our guns with this. We have to know when it's time to be done.
I do understand that. I respect that, because I bear some of the burden that you have with making sure we meet the survey results that we need and all of that. I totally understand.
And you saw
but
the
I also want to
email,
make
the new survey came out, the wait times was #1 on our list,
I did.
especially early morning wait times.
I feel strongly. I do respect, I know what you're saying. But I do feel really strongly that we need to make the wisest choice here, based not just on a black and white, what's on paper, because I feel like we kind of pride ourselves on being a, supporting our techs, supporting our people, because we want to have that employee retention in this day and age that we live in. And I do think that's a piece to it. So let me just play out the empathetic piece so that you can hear that and you can have all of the pieces to the puzzle.
Sure.
So Sandy is always early, but she has a lot of trouble with some of her personal interactions, both with some of the patients and then some of the techs.
Okay.
So there's times things get stirred up rather than de-escalated because of just some of her personality tendencies.
Is it happening at a certain point of the day? Is it early
it's
on?
usually by the end of the day. So yes, definitely, I would say, I mean, that's when I have observed her, or when other technologists have come in and said, she's driving me crazy, or she's just really come unhinged over something small. So that's a good point. Let me write that down. She does, that has been observed more towards the end of the day.
Okay.
And then Frank, just so you have the other side of that, he really struggles to be on time, but he's a single dad, and he drops his kids off the earliest he possibly can, which is 10 till 7, and then races across town to get to be on time. Because he really shouldn't even be dropping them off until probably 7:15, but they have allowed him to do this to be on time as much as he can. The other piece to that I have to make sure you hear, he is absolutely the most supportive team player on our team. He will jump in and help anybody. He makes everybody feel so valued. That's just, and this is trying to be really black and white about the strengths for both of them. He will always do whatever he needs to do, and he would support anybody in any way. And he's even had some issues sometimes with Sandy, but he's never complained about it, and he's always found a way to work with her. So
that's funny, not to cut you off there. I actually had an email come through from Sandy. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed it off. She was requesting if there was maybe a potential to change her time because she was struggling to pick up her kids at the end of the day.
I did not
You
know.
mentioned that her struggles seem to happen towards the end of the shift.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's getting a little scatterbrained because she has to race out of here to get
Well,
to her
that's
shift.
really interesting because when you think about it, you know how that goes in the day, especially if they've gotten backed up earlier in the day. And then she's trying to get out of there on time, not early. She never leaves early, but she needs to leave at 4:30. And she's always very vigilant about that. That kind of makes sense now because if that's, how that'll get pushed at 3 o'clock on, it can get like, are we going to get out of here on time?
Yeah. Now, Sandy, as the director, you're the manager of the department. Typically, I don't do this because I'm looking at numbers all day. What do you think could be a solution to this?
Well, because of what you just brought up, and I had not, it just never crossed my mind. Would it be possible, do you think, they would, management would go for us flipping their times and keeping them both and seeing how that plays out? Because here's what would happen. So now he doesn't have to race to work. He doesn't have to be there till 8. And then she's done at 3:30. So her timeline works better for her. And then maybe that would relieve her stress. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because I know we're looking at FTEs, but I also know we've got Sarah who's going to go on maternity leave in another 3 months. And so,
Right. And that is going to be a hit to the department. I was hoping to not have to call into an agency staff. Maybe we could. Let's give, I mean, in our positions between you and I think we should just switch their start times, knowing what we know.
well,
If
you
they
had a
go
piece
for
that
it,
I didn't have. I didn't have the piece about Sandy. So, and you didn't have the Frank piece. So, well, I think that'll solve it. I think
it
that's,
seems to me, I mean, just this conversation helped us to get to this point, and I think we might be able to save an entire worker.
both of them. Yes. I thank you so much. You really always do listen to me, and I truly appreciate that. You always make me feel like I do have a solid viewpoint, and I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad to have you out there too.
All right. All right.
Thanks a lot, Sandy. Let me know how it goes.
I will.